Truly African.
Evening political show. We are live on Pan-African Television. We're also live on Facebook at Pan-African Television, on YouTube at Pan-African Television, as well as 46 African countries. You can join in the conversation by sending in your views, comments, and contributions on our WhatsApp/text line. I'll be reading those messages out for you. Those of you watching us on Facebook can share the Facebook Live for other people to also watch tonight's edition of the program. You can leave your suggestions, questions, contributions, and whatnot on our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter at Pan-African Television. I'll be reading all of that for you. My name is Justice Appiah, and tonight on Hot News, we are continuing with a discussion on the parliamentary reshuffle of the minority. You know that the National Democratic Congress has changed its leadership in parliament. It has been greeted with mixed reactions. Whilst some party members are comfortable with the situation, others are not comfortable with the situation at all, leading to some party members in the Tamale South constituency, where the former minority leader is a member of parliament, threatening not to see, especially the national chairman of the National Democratic Congress, as well as the general secretary of the party, Fifi Kweti and Johnson Asidun Ketia, respectively, in that particular constituency, and to a large extent, the North. Groups are coming up, petitions are being signed. Some 60 members of parliament from the minority side, we are told, have signed a petition to have the decision by the party reversed. Is that going to be so? We are also told that some 77 have also signed a petition in support of Atoforsen being the being the minority leader. I mean, the situation is becoming, very, very bad for the National Democratic Congress. We'll also be playing some bites of some persons who have also shared the opinions on the matter. One of such persons is the Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Mohammed, who was on the morning show today on Pan-African Television. He indicated that the party did not even engage in any broader consultation before the decision was taken. He thinks that the decision was taken in a bad faith. Other people are also saying that this decision is premised on the fact that these persons who have been changed did not campaign or support the current leadership going into their National Delegates Congress. For that reason, they are paying them back. Do you think that is the situation? The national chairman of a party, I heard him on a sister station giving reasons behind the action. Do you think that those reasons are the real reasons behind the decision taken by the party? We'll digest this issue or the issues raised on the platform. But before then, let's listen to Honorable Mohammed when he was making his submission this morning on Good Morning Africa, right here on Pan-African Television. We'll be right back.
In every political party, you need to judge or disagree to agree. I have listened to some senior colleagues, and they made rather bizarre comments. The argument is that there is nowhere in the 1992 Constitution that obliges the National Executive to consult the caucus before appointing people, and that there is nowhere in the standing orders of Parliament that obliges, if you like, the National Executive of the party to consult the leadership or the caucus of Parliament before choosing leaders, and that there is nowhere in the NDC Constitution that says so. Nobody has argued that the fact that we are talking about consultation, we're taking the authority from the Constitution of Ghana or the Constitution of the party or the standing orders of party. Nobody has argued that way. So they should not set their own questions and begin finding answers. What we have said repeatedly that we are practicing democracy. And one of the important ingredients of democratic governance is consultation and participation. So the argument of consultation has nothing to do with the 1992 constitution or the constitution of the party or the standing orders. But I'll come to explain why I think that the leaders I supported strongly against all odds got it completely wrong. Was this decision taken by neck or fake? The party constitution is very clear how decisions are arrived at. The party constitution says that the highest decision-making body of the party is Congress. The second highest decision-making body of the party is NEC. I'm a member of NEC. The third highest decision-making body of the party is FEC. So any of this can take a decision for the party that is binding on everybody. Not individuals within these structures. So if I am a national secretary and I am a member of FEC, I can't say that because I want to do this, that should be the decision. And two, those who have also argued that they don't need to consult this current leadership, the caucus was consulted before they were appointed. When we came into this parliament, the 8th parliament, the then national secretary came to meet us at caucus and told us that we are to constitute leadership of the house. Are you satisfied with the current leaders, that is leaders who were the leaders in the 7th parliament? Are you satisfied with the current leadership, or you want the leadership to be changed? And it was unanimous that we are satisfied with the current leadership. So that argument of consultation not being necessary, they should go and find out from the national chairman whether we were consulted before this leadership were chosen or not. Now, when they consulted us, if we had said we're not satisfied with them, they have chosen new leaders. Why did they consult us? At the time when they were consulting us, they knew that there is nowhere, no provision in the party constitution that obliges them to consult us. But they consulted us because of the earlier point I made.
So that was the Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Mohammed. You've just listened to him. Now let's go to Tamale South, where Harun Idrisu, former minority leader, is the Member of Parliament, and listen to what his constituency chairman, had to say about this matter. We'll be right back.
Yes, this afternoon we are hearing news that we are brother and we are MP. Thomas have MP for minority leadership, but we are not understand why that thing happened like that, because since 1992, if you hear that the proposed one person to either minority leader or majority the change, but after minority, you are not hear that the change the minority leader before. You never hear that before, because Bagman make a minority leader and came majority leader. A change may supposed to come minority leader and come majority leader. Why Haruna Idrisu came minority leader? End your term, you come remove it. So that one, go to take it. Go to take it today, go to take it tomorrow. But this one, we are not that. Two people do it. I said in Katia and Fifi Kote. Two of them do it. But you are aware that they will do more than this one, because you are
saying that you are not going to take it. What are you going to do?
You know what to do. You know what to do. You know what to do. I said in Katia vote, me to our vote. These people, all of them, yes, to vote. So don't tell me that why we are going to do. You know how to do. If you want, I'm the chairman for Thomas South constituency. If you tell my people that, vote for Haruna, don't vote for your mama, can be good for the party. No, ask all around and tell people that vote for Haruna. So yes, so that's why don't ask me that if you do that, then what I will do. I get it. So that's why you say that you not agree. This one you not agree because Fifi Kote and Asere Ketia, if you don't do it, so Asere Ketia, I want to remind you, The time you came to General Secretary, you know how Peswa. You know how Peswa to give anybody. But you are give the secretary to you. So now you are a big man. You want to punish people. Look at nonsense. If you are national chairman, so what? If you are national chairman, so what? So I say, I want to tell you, I'm the constituency chairman. I don't care about you. I don't care about you. Oh, Fifi Kote.
So if you don't take time, you can't come to Tamale again.
Fifi Kote, you are stupid. Fifi Kote, you are stupid. Look, Fifi Kote is a two-time AP. Two-time AP. You want to go 3 times, you get chance. Because of your stupidness, you don't get chance.
Was the Tamale South constituency chairman of the National Democratic Congress. You've listened to him. He is accusing the national chairman of a party, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, and general secretary of the party, Fifi Fiave Kwete, of being the brains behind the decision taking by the party. The situation is becoming extremely difficult for the National Democratic Congress. I've been joined in the studio by Dr. Abubakar Marzuq. He's a lecturer with the University of Applied Management. Doc, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been a while on this platform.
Good evening, sir. Yes, I'm so much happy to be here.
Right.
I'm grateful. And you know why I have become an international trotro. And therefore I had to spend some time at Oxford, in the US. But I have come back home.
Right, we thank God. Also in the studio is a big brother and a friend in person of Mr. Alfred George Thompson, former deputy NIB boss, National Investment Bank boss, and a member of a New Patriotic Party communications team. My brother, how are you doing?
Very well, very well, thanks.
I hope, your government is treating you better.
We are in it, we are in the country, we are all Ghanaians, and we are working together for the good of this country.
Right. I'll take your opinion on the happenings in the National Democratic Congress. This issue started from yesterday. Today we are told that some 60 or 66 members of parliament from the minority side have signed a petition calling on the party to reverse the decision. Also, we are told that some 77 have also signed a petition in support of KCL Ato forcing to be the minority leader. It tells you that the party is in a deep crack. Your position on this matter?
Good evening once again to all our cherished viewers. Good evening to Pan-African TV. And I wish you well. I think this year I haven't been here, so I wish you a happy new year to everyone.
Give me just a second. Viewers, we're going for a short break. We'll be right back. That break, you're still watching Hot News right here on Pan-African Television with me, Justice Appiah. If you're watching us on Facebook, you can share the Facebook Live for other people to also watch tonight's edition of the program. Let me rather start with Doc. Mr. Thompson will join us briefly. Doc, I'm sure you have followed keenly the happenings in the National Democratic Congress. What does this mean for the party?
Good evening to the cherished viewers of ours, and thanks for the opportunity once again to be here.
Right.
We all have to agree that we are dealing with one of the most critical situations in our democratic history. First of all, we need to understand that multi-party democracy is impossible without the legislature. In other words, the legislature constitutes a critical feature of multi-party constitutional democracy. Especially so when we are dealing with an issue concerning the largest majority, largest minority party in the legislature. So we all need to be concerned about it. Those of us who are apolitical, those of us who are political, those of us who do not have any, those who do not have any loyalty, we all have to be concerned in the interest of the nation. What is happening? It is not good for democracy. It's not good for the party. It's not good for Ghana. But it depends on how we will manage it. Let me situate my analysis on the context of pros and cons. Pros, in the sense that, yes, it is important for all of us to understand that in democratic governance, changes are a possibility. Changes are a possibility. So if you look at it from that angle, there's nothing wrong with the NDC to change its parliamentary leadership. Sometimes changes are dictated by constitutional provisions, either at the party level or at the national level, depending on the constitutional structures. Other times, changes are not dictated by any constitutional provision. And in that case, changes are done by conventions. So we must first of all understand that we are dealing with an issue, and that is what. And then we are dealing with the manner of the issue, and that is how. The what is a constitutional norm that is changing a leadership in the legislature is a constitutional norm. It's a democratic norm. But the how is the problem here. The how is the problem because we seem to be dealing with an issue that is outside the conventions of the constitutional norms. Clearly, the NDC has the right to change its parliamentary leadership. But the way it has been done is not in the interest of the NDC itself. First of all, I said Nketia and his likes, his cohorts, are mentioning, they are referring to the Constitution. They may have a constitutional justification. But beyond the Constitution, we have conventions. And every functional democracy depends largely on constitutional provisions and conventions. Clearly, for the people who have been changed not to be informed, for them to be learning about their reshuffle in the media, on social media, is unacceptable. Clearly, for Asedim Ketia and his cohorts to ignore a critical component of democratic governance, and that is consultation. Not even mere consultation, but broader consultation. For them to ignore the broader consultation and to go ahead to do what they have done is not in the interest of the
argument is that when they were appointed, or when they were being appointed into those positions, nobody was consulted. No consultation was done. Same as when you're being removed. If consultation wasn't done, what's the problem?
So in the first place, if that is what he's saying, then even that one was problematic. But it was problematic at a certain level. The problem associated with that approach did not create any crack and deepen other cracks within the party. So if that is what you are arguing, if that is your argument, then of course you should also understand the consequences of the consultation. The lack of the consultation did not have any negative consequences. Now, lack of consultation, you and I are witnessing the kind of negative consultations it is producing. So at the end of the day, that's why I'm saying that constitutionally you cannot fault them. But conventionally, and no functional democracy can do away with conventions. The British parliamentary democracy is largely constructed on the foundation of conventions. You go to parliament, most of what the parliamentarians do are based on conventions, the standing orders. So all I am saying is that, yes, they have the right to do what they have done. But the manner
in which it
has been done is counterproductive to the electoral fortunes of NDC. And it is not good to the democratic dispensation in this country.
Now let's look at the reasons ascribed to the act and see if those reasons are justifiable.
All right.
Now, I listened to the national chairman of a party, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, on a sister station, who said that 2024 elections is about the economy, and that it's about time they get people who are well versed when it comes to issues pertaining to the economy in Parliament. Hence, the decision to change the leadership of Parliament. Does it make sense?
In one adjective, if I am asked to describe this assertion by the chairman in one adjective, it is bogus.
Bogus. Okay.
Bogus. Bogus in the sense that he seems to be reducing the serious business of governance to economy.
Okay.
That is very unfortunate. Governance.
But you know that the National Democratic Congress is currently restructuring its party.
I know.
And as part of, the restructuring process, all these changes would have to be effected to ensure that they have a solid party into the 2024 elections. You think that this reason is not, a tangible reason enough for the changes to be made in Parliament?
Fantastic question.
Right.
And the answer is no.
Okay, go ahead.
Changes themselves in response to the future elections should be holistic.
Okay.
Governance is a generic activity, right? Inclusive of all kinds of expertise.
Right.
The journalist, the economist, the engineer, the communicator, the lecturer, even the messenger. Right? Everybody has a role to play in governance. And when you are going to the electoral war, you need everybody. That is why at that level, we are not talking of the quality.
Right.
We are rather mentioning the quantity. The vote of the intelligent man, the vote of the professor, and that of the failure in the streets of Accra are equal when we are talking about elections.
Right.
So to reduce the serious business of governance to mere economic issues is unfortunate. It's unacceptable. Again, when we have economists, does he even understand Haruna's name? If I call him Haruna because he's a colleague of mine. We grew up together from Tamale.
Right.
In Tamale. We used to call him Harun Ikons.
Okay.
Harun Ikons means the Haruna of economic expertise.
I see.
So Haruna is not an illiterate in economic matters. And of course, let me tell you something. Garnier, a French scholar, is reported to have said that there's more learning outside the classroom than inside the classroom.
Okay.
It's up to, and that is why experts of adult education are of the view that knowledge should now become a matter of convergence, not divergence. My brother, you sit down here. You host a lot of people.
Right.
You can decide to learn economic issues on your own, and then you'll be able to have an idea. You may not be an expert. You can have an idea. So Haruna, he shouldn't be speaking as if Honorable Haruna, the minority leader, and Honorable Muntaka, with whom I was in Tamasco.
Right.
We slept in the same room in Tamakulo House, of the great Tamakulo in Tamasco. I knew them very well. I know them from infancy. I know them in their democratic dispensation. I know them in politics. I know them in government. I know them in everything. So all I am saying is that, yes, these elections are not only matters of economics. These elections are matters of all kinds of expertise suitable, or that is all kinds of expertise relevant to governance.
Right.
And to think that only one person, so Asiedu Nketia is telling us that only the three who have been changed will be leading the economic argument. Not at all. I don't think they will have time to come here and discuss economic argument. I don't think they will have time to go all around the country. Unless of what he's telling us that the economic battle that NDC is going to wage in terms of intellectualism will be confined to Parliament. Remember, the legislature is only one arm of governance.
Right.
The legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. The judiciary may not be drawn into politics, but the two wings, the legislature, the parliament, and the executive are mere political organs. And therefore, unless of what he's saying that the economic debate will be confined to Parliament, if that is what he's saying, then we are yet to see how NDC will perform outside the parliament in terms of electoral fortunes. That is bogus. Doesn't make sense.
By your submission, are you, by extension, saying that the party has underrated the, the understanding or the former minority leaders' understanding when it comes to economic issues and all?
That's exactly that's exactly so. You are saying that you are changing him because he's maybe he doesn't have economic background, and I'm saying that in this situation,
right,
especially Ghana's performance in the economy. Look, let me tell you something. You don't need to be an economic superpower house,
right,
before you understand the Ghana's economic situation.
Okay,
right, and I said Nketia himself, right, cannot, if he himself does not have the capacity, the intellectual capacity to determine to us who is more of economic expertise and who is not. He doesn't have that capacity. He himself is not an economist, right? And again, let me emphasize that these elections will not be reduced to only a matter of economy. These elections will be fought on the basis of all the fields that are relevant to governance. Governance, which is an activity, a generic activity, inclusive of all professionals and all expertise, relevant to the survival of a nation. And therefore, he should never, if he does so, then other experts and other professionals could be offended. That's number one. Number two, those who do not have economic background in the legislature could also be offended.
Right.
Those who do not have the economic background in other sectors of our democratic politics and governance could be offended. If he advances that argument, this bogus argument, definitely he's going to lose a lot of supporters. Look at what is happening in Tamale.
Right.
Look at what is happening in other places. Or is he thinking that when we go to the polls, only those with economic minds will vote? Is that what he's thinking?
Maybe.
And that will be injurious to the economic and electoral health of the opposition National Democratic Congress.
Thank you so much, Doc, for your submission. Now let me go to my brother, Mr. Thompson. Your position on this matter.
Good morning once again.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you.
You see, I've been up since morning.
Yeah, so
I forget it's even evening.
Service to God and country. Yeah.
It's interesting, this whole comic relief going on now from the leadership of the National Democratic Congress. And you see, when they say coming events cast their shadow,
right?
When you try to outwit someone based on hatred, you never succeed. You will never succeed.
True.
And you realize that it's now made everybody angered, even from the opposite side of NDC, that is MPP.
Yes.
Everybody's talking about this because it's laughable, the excuses coming from almost all of them. You ask yourself, are they serious? Do these people really want power? Assuming we are saying that MPP is not performing well now to what people expect, is this the alternative? Then I'm sorry.
What's wrong with the decision they took?
One is based on hatred. I'll show you where power lies. I'll show you that I'm in charge of the party. I'll show you that you are under this party. You can't be above. I'll show you that you are nobody in the party. I'll bring you down and I'll make you naked in front of everyone because one, you didn't support me. That is the basic thing that is going on. You didn't support me. This is not the first time they tried to change Aruna and Mutaka. In fact, when this thing happened yesterday, I was in another sister TV station that we had finished.
Yeah.
And I was with one of the executives there. And one of the journalists there said that, there's serious things happening in Parliament. And we said, what is that? They said there are changes in the rank and file of NDC. And this executive member who is part was voted for said, oh, it's not true, it's fake. But they've never had any meeting, they've never this thing. And I said that, oh, but Mutaka, I know from Grapevine, they want to change him. Haruna, they are finding it difficult, so they've left here. They said it won't happen. I'm telling you, when we go for a meeting, this personally I'll object seriously, because you don't just change people. And Mutaka has been helping them very well in Parliament. He's been someone who has been Haruna's backbone as a deputy minority leader. So they've been working hand in hand to make sure that Parliament moves very well. Only for me to live there and see it on Joy News, that is true. So I called back and I said, and I say, and I said, you can see that then there was no consultation that had gone on. It was a sole decision by two people. Consulted with the former president, just told him that this is what you are going to do, and go ahead, and they done it, because one is we saw it when Dr. Dufo was interviewed,
right?
And he said that I mean, when he was mentioning two mates, two people he could go as a running mate, Haruna was one, and the second one was, I think, Bagbin,
right?
That he mentioned their names. Bagbin you can't touch now. So what do you have to do? Let's go for Haruna then. Let's get Haruna down. Haruna, they know that he's also looking ahead one day to be a presidential candidate. Why don't we finish him now so that he can never rise again in politics? So you make him a backbencher. You make him a nobody. He hasn't got the teeth and the mouth to talk or to bite. Let us bring him down. That is the agenda. Vendetta.
How did you know that Honorable Haruna Idrisu did not support Asidu Nketiah and Fifi Kwete, and for that reason they would want to get back at him?
His own parliamentarians come and say it. They've been saying it all over since morning, unless you haven't heard it on air.
Right.
They've been saying it, that he supported
Ofosu
Ampofo to continue the work, and I don't think that should bring about this fight or this show of power, machoism in the party. Party politics is not a personal business. You need everybody. You see, they think that because MPP sometime back was able to get the chairman and the general secretary and the first vice out, which means that, then when we do the same thing, we can win. It doesn't work that way. There was a reason why the whole party machinery, in fact, to tell you the truth, when that was going to happen, the candidate at that time, Nana Dodankwa Akufo-Addo, who was the candidate, said he wasn't in support of the party removing Chairman Paul Afoko and Engineer Kobna AJ Japan. But the party had to go ahead and do it. They took a decision. It was a collective decision from all regional chairmen, all National Executive Committee chairmen, members, and they took that decision that no, if you want the good of this party, certain people must fall back.
So it was a collective decision.
Collective decision. And then you sit there and say that, the DDE debt exchange program, we should consult widely. Whilst you don't do consultation. You yourself don't know what consultation means. But you are calling on MPP that they should do wider consultation. Even though we are doing consultation, you said, we should do wider consultation. But you, even a small one with NEC, your National Executive Committee, with the National Council, you couldn't consult before removing the leadership. You don't just remove the leadership. And this thing that they say that, they don't need to consult them.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
You listen to Murtala responding to
you need to consult everybody.
Inus Afuseni, who said, well, when they were being appointed into that position, I mean, there wasn't any consultation.
There was consultation. It is not true. There was consultation.
Okay.
They just don't get you and appoint you. They talk to you. What if you appoint me and I said I don't want it? They said disgrace to the party. What are you talking about? They consult everybody before they appoint. They consult. And that is one of the reasons why they feel that, let's show them, won't tell them anything. When they went for their retreat last weekend, they didn't even discuss this. It wasn't on the agenda. Go and check. They didn't discuss it. Listen, there are deep throat things that we know from the party. We have friends, we have people there who tell us things. And we can see on authority, There was nothing of the discussion that let's change the leadership for parliament when they went for their retreat. Then what happened? You wake up one morning, even without some of the national executives knowing, 2 or 3 people decide that let's change them, and that is it. They think they don't need to tell them. Even the person you are changing, you think you don't need to tell him. It's an insult to him. It's an insult to him. It's very demeaning. That I'll just be sitting there, then I'll hear on air that you've changed me. Why is it a coup d'etat? Is it a matter of yes, I'll show you that I'm in control now?
You can call it a palace coup if you like.
It is. It is a palace coup.
I'm not taking much of your time, but let me say that consultation is a business of democracy.
Right.
Lack of consultation is a feature of autocracy. You cannot, and I say Renketia and his cohorts should not give Ghanaians the opportunity to call them the Mugabes of NDC or the Pharaohs of NDC.
Right.
That is unacceptable.
I'll come back to you.
You see, when we were saying, when they were elected, and we were saying that these are a bunch of propagandists and they wouldn't be able to manage the NDC, people thought we were just joking. But now they are proving the point that they cannot lead this party. This is the biggest opposition party. Whatever bad thing goes on there affects every Ghanaian. Everything wrong that goes on there affects Ghanaians. And what is this talk about? He's not an economist.
Well, I'm sure you listened to those reasons.
Assuming MPP takes Dr. Baumia to be the flag bearer of the party, which most people support, against John Mahama. Is John Mahama an economist? Is he going to debate him on the economy? Would he be able to be? Then they should let John Mahama sit aside and bring Atu Forsen or Atu Carson. Is it Atu? What's his name? Atu Carson.
Atu Forsen.
Atu Forsen. Yeah, Atu Forsen as the presidential candidate, because he's the one who understands the economy. Yes. What are they talking about?
So you mean to say that that reason is flawed, ab initio?
I mean, it's even my baby in a class 1 class will not say this.
I see.
You don't say this, especially when you call yourself a political animal. You can't use this as it's a lame duck excuse. You don't use this as an excuse. That's what? He's not an economist. Let me ask you, is the president an engineer?
No.
So can he debate anything on engineering?
Not at all.
Is the president, what do you call it, an artist?
No.
Is he, he has everything. As a leader, you are supposed to lead. And you are supposed to learn, read wide, to embrace a lot of things. When people come, they expect you to be wise, to be able to ask certain questions that will let you appreciate and understand.
Very well.
Let me take someone like Napo. He's not an educationist, is he?
True.
Look at how he went to education and look at the performance. He's not, what do you call it, an energy expert. But he's gone there and look at the work he's doing. Are we saying that because of that, we have to go and get an energy expert and take Napo out? It's not right. They're not doing the right. You see, so it tells me straight away that they don't know what they're about.
But some people are saying that it looks as if the MPP is crying more than the bereaved.
Why would we cry more than the
because
bereaved?
this should be a matter, for the National Democratic Congress. But the MPP has taken interest in this matter more than even the NDC.
Because it's a matter on the table now. When the debt exchange came, didn't we talk about it?
We talked about it.
Didn't the NDC talk a lot more than
They
us?
did.
Is it because they are not in charge? When the matter is on the table, you talk about it. You discuss it. You bring your point out. So once you've asked us, we'll bring our point out. We don't need to cry more than them. Listen, even if it comes to the worst, we'll say that we should even be more happier that there are more cracks coming up. But we are not. Because when they started the rioting in Tamale Central, or Tamale, constituency, Tamale South, we had to send police there, didn't we?
Yes, you did.
Isn't it on government's payroll or machinery that we pay the police to go and do that work?
Right.
When Asawase started all these demonstrations, started burning the party office, isn't it the police we have to send a lot of police to control the crowd of what is going on? If today there's a problem in parliament, won't we send security there? What are we talking about? So we need to be concerned.
But do you think that these happenings in the National Democratic Congress, would boost the electoral fortunes of a new patriotic party, your party?
I said something. Coming events, cast their shadow.
Yes.
It's for MPP to learn. Those who feel that, we are so peeved and pained by this party, that when they come, even their own, look at what they are doing to them. How much more us? Even their own. See the way they are treating them. How much more the MPP? So if you sit there and say that, me, I'm angry, so I'm going to vote. It's up to you. You might think maybe no one will touch you, but another NDC guy within your area will come and tease you. And if you talk, or if you get angry, they can lock you because they said maybe you've slapped him or you've done something. So we need to wisen up. We are not scared about NDC, not at all. When you even look at the voting pattern, NDC has a block of about 49% that always will voted, and we need the other few to cross over the 50.1 or the 51% that you usually get plus. NDC has a block of about 42% that they always get, and they need that extra to cross over. So we are not scared. We are working well, and that is why we've said that we are going to work extra hard. As Fatima was saying, they will sit down and they will think that, because the economy is not all that stable now, so everything will go against us. Ghanaians are wise, and they know that.
Well, maybe that's why the national chairman is saying that. Maybe that's why the national chairman is is saying that the 2024 election is going to be about the economy, and that they need, an economist sort of to lead the party leadership in parliament.
That's what my brother said. That isn't Aruna Idrisu an economist? When you read his background, he's an economist.
Yeah.
Are you trying to say that we don't have other people there that can also lead? Are we trying to say that Haruna Idrisu works in isolation? Because we have committees, various committees in parliament, and we have ranking members that are there. And definitely before he presents a paper or he talks about anything, he consults his people. And that I know for sure. Because one of the people I've sat on set with told me that Haruna will always call you and ask you and jot his points down before he talks. So it's not a matter of he does things in isolation. And so does any leader. So if Chairman Esiedun Ketia doesn't know how to lead, maybe he should take lessons from Haruna Idrisu. It will help him a lot to see that it's better to consult than to think that you know it all and that you have the power and you can misuse it anyhow. It will not work for your good, and it will not work for the good of your own party. It will not work for the good of the party.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Thompson, for your submission. Viewers, you are still watching Hot News right here on Pan-African Television. With me, Justice Appiah. If you're watching us on Facebook, you can share the Facebook Live for other people to also watch tonight's edition of the program. Now, we are told, Doc, that even in Parliament, the minority front is divided. Whilst some are supporting the decision, others are also signing petition for the party to reverse the decision. If you go to Tamale South, the place is boiling to an extent that they are insulting, they are threatening, they are accusing. Do you see the NDC, putting all these things behind them anytime soon?
I think it will be difficult for them. It will be difficult for them because they seem to allow, excuse my word, with all due respect, a cabal to be championing affairs. And as long as this cabal continues its work in the name of NDC, then the party will continue to suffer. You agree with me that this decision is whimsical, is capricious, is disastrous, is unethical. And what you have mentioned is already a negative effect on the party. For instance, some in support, others
not in support.
So that is already a crack of course, as a human institution, the NDC is bound to have existing cracks. And just as any other political party, even NPP has such cracks.
Yeah.
But it is up to the party, in this case the NDC, to manage the cracks. It doesn't augur well for the NDC to allow a cabal to create other cracks or deepen existing ones. That is unacceptable. So definitely it will take a long time, unless of course the leadership reasons and calls this cabal to order. Because once the cabal is even arguing against a democratic norm of consultation, it tells you that it is ready to do whatever it wants to do in defense of this disaster. And the moment we allow this cabal to continue its rigidity in perpetuity, definitely NDC will find it very difficult, and it will hunt the party from now up to the elections.
If you also listen to the national chairman, I think one of the issues he also mentioned is about regional balance.
Yes.
Yes, he talked about the fact that, you know, those who are replacing the outgoing ones are also representing some other regions, which will also be good for the National Democratic Congress or the electoral fortunes in 2024.
Okay, fine.
How do you respond to that?
Fine. First of all, let me be fair to him. Regional balance is a good concept in our aspect of democratic governance.
Right.
It's good. And, you know, even though the 1992 Constitution, the Fourth Republic, discourages geopolitical considerations. It discourages, yes, because, you know, in the 1950, the Independence Constitution of 1950 did not outlaw formation of political parties on the basis of tribes and religions. That was why we had the Northern People's Party, NPP one, and then we had Islam Association Party, which was largely known as Islam, right? Muslim Association Party, that it was called Islam. We have the Ewe party that came from the Ewe land, and then we have the Ashantis. But at the end of the day, the Ghanaians realized that those considerations brought more divisions, right? But then there's one thing we should understand. Sometimes there is a bitter reality we must accept. Whether we like it or not, even the current democratic dispensation is impossible without certain amount of geo-ethnic considerations. And that's why we have accepted it, that MPP is largely Akan and NDC is largely Ewe. We will accept it. It happens everywhere, even in America. We have the Florida of this, the Florida of that. Democrats, they capture this. The Republicans, they capture that. Everywhere. It is a bitter reality that we must accept, even though we don't have to encourage them. So he talks about regional balance. No problem about that regional balance. Now he's introducing another dangerous element into this disaster called decision. Very dangerous, because you talk of regional balance. How many of them? How many regions do we have? We have 16 regions. You've changed only 3 people. So the rest of the regions, the 11 regions that have been left, have not been taken care of. So that is very dangerous. When you talk about regional balance, definitely the people of Tamale will be boiling. You know what made me sad? I'm a proud Dagomba. I'm a proud son of Dagbang.
Okay.
Yes. But what made me sad this morning was that fellow Dagombas, Dagomba youth, calling themselves Concerned Dagomba Youth, issued a statement. I don't want to blame them. I cannot blame them, even though I'm not happy about the dimension. I'm not happy about that. But I cannot blame them, because the clique is arguing on the basis of regional balance. Now they also have the right to defend themselves. And you know what people don't know? Muntaka Mubarak is a Dagomba. Haruna is a Dagomba. The two of them have been asked, and you want their fellow Dagombas to be happy, even though it is not right for them to argue that way. But let me tell you something. The moment you introduce this, I'm telling you the danger of it. You and I will have to use this medium to appeal to our people. They should try as much as possible to do away with any form of ethnicity in handling this issue. But if those who have taken this decision are arguing on the basis of regional balance, definitely they will give other people the opportunity to take the matter to another level that would be disastrous, that will be counterproductive even to the whole country. So all I am saying is that regional balance argument is unacceptable. Okay. And I take this opportunity to appeal to everybody, especially fellow the Gomes, to treat this issue as a mere NDC party issue and not a tribal issue.
Right. Let me go to Mr. Thompson. Now, do you think that by these pronouncements and these decisions, the NDC is digging their own grave going into the 2024 election?
I'll start with where my brother ended on the tribal issue.
Right.
The minority leader is from Central. The deputy minority leader is from Western.
Okay.
The chief whip, minority chief whip, is from Volta. And the deputy minority chief whip is from the north. What happened to the Bono people?
Okay.
They are Hafos. What happened to the Gans? What happened to the
Gansa is there. She's representing the Greater Accra region. The two deputy minority whips. One is from the Greater Accra region. Deyo Gansa, Comfort Deyo Gansa, the member of parliament for Adan East constituency. You know, Adan is part of Greater Accra region, so maybe Greater Accra has a representation.
So what about the Bono? What about the Western North?
Okay.
What about Savannah? What about Northeast? All those places. What is happening to them?
And even Northern region itself.
Northern region, they have a rep there for the deputy minority whip.
Okay.
So you see, let's not go that way.
At all.
Let's not go that way.
Right.
When Haruna was serving, he wasn't serving because he's from the north.
No.
He was serving because he was serving his party and serving his country.
Okay.
The same with Mutaka and Aveji and all the others. They were serving the party and they did it diligently. They did it without fear or favor. They did it with love. They had to lobby in certain places. You see, leadership is not about thinking that, oh, I always have to put my foot down and say no to everything that the government is saying or the government in power is saying. They staggered e-levy for a time, and look at what happened to Ghana. Look at where we are now. That is why this time they had to approve their budget and appropriations very early. So we don't fall into that situation. Nobody will blame parliamentarians. So as a leader, you have to show maturity, a lot of maturity. There are certain things they don't teach in the university.
At all.
Neither would they teach anywhere. And they call it fienyansa. It means you have to use your brains when you are leading a course. Let people see that leadership in you.
Right.
Let them see that wisdom coming from you. Maybe if they had even consulted, all these things would have been a cool case. Because they would have even told you that, listen, they are selecting people to lead me. And you decide, you sit in the party office and decide who should lead parliament. Is that how things are done? 136 MPs. You decide, when you are not an MP, who to lead them. Why didn't they sit in in the office and decide who should become the Speaker of Parliament? Why did they have to let the MPs vote? They should have decided there and said that we are sending this person, don't vote. It's just nice. It's just fair. It's just sensible that when you are taking your leadership in Parliament, for them to lead certain people, maybe Atu forcing is not nice to about half of the people there. So they might not like him to be the leader. Maybe I'm just using that as an example.
It's possible.
It's not, I'm not saying that is it.
Yeah.
Maybe the style that Haruna puts in, they love it more than the style that any other person is putting in. So why would they say that, oh, Haruna, they don't like him, so they should just change him without consulting the people that they are going to lead. At least sit down with them, tell them that, okay, this is the decision you are taking. Whether you like it or not, this is why we are taking the decision. So we want you to accept it, and let them accept it before you even come and announce it. But people sitting down, it's like a coup that has happened and they don't even know what is going on. That is why it's gone this bad. That is why it's become so murky. If they had done the right thing, we wouldn't have been where we are today.
What should be the way forward for the NDC? You can probably suggest any way for them.
I wouldn't advise Ese Dunketia. He knows it all. I just pray that there is peace within.
Okay.
I pray that they become the formidable opposition that Ghanaians want to see. I pray that they leave the wickedness and the I'll pay you back type of leadership that they want to show in politics. So people will not feel or see them that when they come, all they are coming to do is not to run the country, but to show personal vendetta. I pray they change from that attitude, and they should show it in their leadership. It's not by saying it that, oh, we've changed, but show it in your leadership. It will be difficult for them to say that they are going to reverse the decision now. It will be very difficult. It will be a slap in their own face.
A dent on leadership or a party.
Yeah, even though that should have been the right thing. As a good leader, you say that, listen, yes, I've made some mistakes. Maybe I didn't consult widely. We've withdrawn it. Let these people lead and let us do a better consultation. Maybe we will leave Haruna. Maybe we can change Mutaka. Maybe we'll leave Mutaka. Maybe we can change Haruna. We'll change one or two people, because sometimes you need that experience to still persist at the head of affairs. So I won't advise him. It's up to him. He should lead the way he wants to lead, and we'll enjoy the way we want to enjoy. All I'll tell him is that we will work. I know his focus now is on Central and Western region.
Right.
To make sure that he captures more seats there. I know they are going around in Ashanti region trying to cause a lot of disaffection for our people, because they feel that when they go and tell them that, oh, they haven't done this for you, they are doing this in JB, they are doing this here and there, then they will get people to get angry and not go and vote. But Ghanaians are discerning now. They are wise now. And they know good from bad. They know good leadership from bad leadership. No matter what, we have challenges, but we shall overcome. This too shall pass.
This too shall pass. Thank you so much, Mr. Thompson, for coming. I'm so grateful for your time. Doc, what should be the way forward for the National Democratic Congress? With the way and manner things are going, looks as if there's a deep crack currently in the party. That is not so good for the party going into the 2024 election. Any advice for them? So that we wrap up. I have just 1 minute.
That will be tough for a dog. Election.
Anyway.
Yes. First of all, it must be treated as an emergency.
Okay.
The party should have an emergency meeting. Leadership of the party should discuss it. What has taken place should be suspended. There must be, if there is the need for a genuine change, there must be a broader consultation. And if at the end of the consultation, it is deemed right for Haruna and Muntaka and the rest to leave, they should also exercise patience and leave. If at the end of the consultation, it is established that this decision should be reversed, that must be done in the interest of the unity of the party. But let me emphasize that this issue should remain political, not ethnic. God bless our homeland.
But at least that twist has been added.
Yes.
The regional balance, the regional twist, which will...
They should stop doing that.
Which,
it
has been
delve
added.
deeper into... Because, I mean, here's a case, some youth groups from the north are also coming up. They are saying that, listen, we would not accept, this decision taken against our person.
Yes.
It's really eating into this whole matter. And it's likely to fester into something the party cannot handle.
Exactly. Forward. And that is why you and I have a responsibility, a duty, a specific duty